What's going on, guys? It's Qwazy here, and today I just wanted to do a very quick unboxing and overview of my new lens, the Rokinon 16mm T2.2 Cine Lens. Alright guys, so let's jump right into the box. I'm actually going to turn this around a little bit so you guys can see. I have actually been using this lens, I'm not going to lie. I've just repackaged it for the purpose of opening it again for you guys. So we do have instructions, we all know, we never look at those. Got a little velour bag, which is kind of neat for travel. Keeps it in a safe place. Just some packaging. We have some plastic. And here is the lens here, guys. Okay, so let's take a look at the lens here very quickly. So you're going to notice that it's actually comprised of two pieces. We've got the hood and we've got the lens itself. Now, what makes this hood different from other hoods you're going to notice is the actual shape. And the reason for this, some people might not know. They shape the hood in this way because the 16mm lens is considered a wide-angle lens. So if you had more of the traditional tube style like you get in the zoom lenses, what's going to happen is you're actually going to obstruct the end of the lens if you're shooting wide open. With this being a 16mm prime lens, it's a fixed focal length, and we want to make sure that we don't actually have plastic on the sides of every single shot. So to get around that, that's why we have this shape. Now, another thing to note when it comes to this lens, taking the back off it, is you're going to notice that there's no electronics. The big benefit here for no electronics is not only does it give you more freedom on the lens itself without having to remove your eye from the viewfinder, you can kind of do it all with your hand on the lens itself, but it also saves you battery life. You don't have to set your aperture or your iris through the camera and have that command translate through to the lens. Because of that, this also opens up the possibility of using this on other cameras with non-powered adapters. Now, you're going to notice that the aperture ring is actually geared, and the reason for that is just to make sure that you can use a follow focus with this if, let's say, you're transitioning your shots from inside to outside or vice versa and actually need to change that aperture on the fly. You're also going to notice that the aperture is declicked. And what I mean by that is a traditional photography lens, there's going to be hard stops when it comes to the aperture. With this, it's just one smooth motion from T2.2 to T2.2 to make sure that, again, if you're actually using this for film, because it is a cine lens, that transition is seamless and you don't have stuttering when it comes to how much light is coming in. The term T as well, for those of you who may not know and may be more familiar with f-stops, an f-stop is how wide the aperture actually opens, where a T-stop is how much light actually comes in. So as an example, if you have a lens that has an f-stop of 1.8, that T-stop might only translate to a 2.2 or 2.4, depending on how much light actually hits the sensor once it passes through your lens. Now, the other thing that you're going to notice here is the travel on the actual focus ring itself. Now, on a traditional photography lens, you're going to have the ability to turn this and turn this and turn this, and it may not stop. The downfall with that, again, taking a look at the cinematography side, is if you're using a follow focus and you're setting your marks, those marks are gone if you don't have a definite start point and an end point to your focus. This also has a very, very long and smooth focal range to make sure that it's easier to frame that shot on the fly. So why did I get this lens? The main reason is for vlogs and tech videos. I wanted to have the ability to let as much light into a lens as possible while still staying relatively close to the camera and having a focal length that's not going to distort the shot. Wide angles are great, but they're not for every shot. Something like a 16 or an 18mm is going to be very, very universal. A little bit more so, I think, than a 35. With a 35mm, when you're using that on a crop sensor, it's going to place the camera very, very far back. And if you're a one-man show like me, it's very hard to frame those shots if you don't have an external monitor. So that wraps up the unboxing and the overview of the Rokinon 16mm T2.2 Cine Lens. If you guys have any questions about this lens, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I will have some sample shots on the channel very shortly as well. If this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe if you do want to see more content, and don't forget to leave a like on your way out, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.